Hello everyone and welcome back to Hi2 Tutoring. In today's video, we're going to be talking about polynomials and classifying them. So we're switching from geometry to more into algebraic concepts. So what are polynomials? Simply put, polynomials are the sums and differences of algebraic terms. Okay, they're the sums and differences of algebraic terms. And then these can include variable expressions, and constants. And the polynomials, they must have integer exponents. And we'll get into some examples of those. So let's say for variable expressions, what it means is essentially 2x. In this case, x is a variable and 2x is an expression because it does not have an equal sign next to it. For example, if it was 2x is equal to 0, that right there is not an expression, that's an equation because it has an equal sign in the middle. So essentially it doesn't have to be x or exactly 2, it can be any. And constants. So constants are basically just numbers without any letters or variables. So 2 in this case can be the constant. And when it means by integer exponents, it basically means that the exponents as x squared. That right there has an integer exponent because the exponent is an integer, which is basically just any whole number. Like, it cannot be x to the x power. That right there would be invalid, and that would not be classified as a polynomial. Okay. So, a little practice. Is 1 over x a polynomial? So in this case, 1 over x is actually not a polynomial because there's a variable in the denominator. So this brings us to our next concept, that there should not be any decimals or negative exponents. Or any variables in the denominator or the exponent. So essentially I kind of just gave you guys this and it was a little bit of a trick question, but now if you take a look at this again, there's a variable in the denominator, which means that it cannot be classified as a polynomial. So when it says that polynomials are sums of and differences of algebraic terms, they have to be separated by something. They can't just be, like just one condensed term. So the way that they're separated by is by plus and minus signs. Right? So essentially sum is for plus and difference is for minus. So it'd be like 2x plus 5 or 3x minus 6, just for as an example. And let's talk about degrees. Degree is the highest power of a term in the variable. So if we had 4x squared. In this term, the highest power is 2, because technically if you take a look at this, 4 is going to be equal to 4 to the first power, because anything the first power is just by itself. And then this is x squared, and since 2 is greater than 1, 2 is going to be the degree of this term. And then let's take a look at leading coefficient. So the leading coefficient is basically the coefficient of the term with the highest degree. Now, what is a coefficient? With highest. So if we had a little polynomial like 3x squared plus 5x plus 1, this is right here is a polynomial, and if you take a look at the highest degree in this term, it's going to be 2, since this is x to the first and this is just 1 to the first, which is 1. So then this would be x squared, and the coefficient is the constant in front of the variable. That means 3 would be the leading coefficient here, because it's the coefficient of the term with the highest degree. So coefficient always means just the constant in front of the variable. So 5x, the coefficient is 5. But in this case, the leading one is 3. Okay. So let's do a little bit of practice to end off. If we have the polynomial minus 2. Okay, so we have this problem right here, 4x squared minus 2x plus 6. Can you guys find me the leading coefficient, the number of terms, and the degree? Okay, so hopefully you've done the practice. The leading coefficient in this case would be 4. Number of terms would be 3. Now, this is because there's 2 separators, and then there's 3 terms in outside of those 2 separators. So what I mean by this is there's 4x squared, which is 1 term because they're connected. There's 2x, which is 1 term because they're connected. And then there's 6. Now these are separated by plus or minus signs. And if you take a look at the definition, it's right here. Polynomials are the sums and differences of algebraic terms. That right there is going to be 3 terms. And the degree of this is obviously going to be 2 because this is the highest degree right here. You always take the highest degree of the polynomial to find the degree of the entire polynomial. And yeah, that's it for today. Stay tuned. Thank you for watching.